Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be some examples of how a narcissist will covertly stonewall you, will shut down on you, shut down the conversation in a manner where you potentially can rationalize their behavior towards you, although it usually ends up frustrating you. We are all capable of stonewalling. We're all capable of trying to avoid the conflict, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist and you've learned from previous experience how painful it is if you were to give them the wrong answer. So we can all try and find our ways out of a situation to protect ourselves from potential danger. With a narcissistic person, they're doing this to protect themselves from exposure. They're doing this to feel superior. They're doing this to get one over on you. They're doing this to frustrate you, to wind you up, to get a reaction from you so that they can blame everything on you. So when it comes to a narcissist, they covertly stonewall you as they try to keep their behavior hidden from view. So one of the first ways they can stonewall you is by ignoring you. However, they ignore you in a manner where they act like they just didn't hear you. They can't hear you. And the louder you speak, they might then potentially just turn around and start accusing you, start attacking you, start saying to you, why are you shouting? Why are you angry? Why are you mad? Why are you talking down to me? Why are you talking to me like this? So what they've done, rather than recognize that you are speaking to them, and we can all not hear people, and we can all talk a bit louder in order for someone to hear us or approach someone for them to hear us. So when they then turn it around, they've then asked us a direct question, and we then find ourselves trying to explain that, well, I wasn't shouting you couldn't hear me. Oh, are you accusing me of being deaf now? Are you accusing me of being ignorant? No, I wasn't accusing you of anything. I just asked you a question and you didn't respond, so I spoke a bit louder. Oh yes, because everything's all about you, isn't it? And they get the upper hand by getting you to constantly justify yourself to them so that they don't have to respond to what you said to them. They completely ignore what you are saying, or they can just claim that they didn't hear you. However, they will claim that they didn't hear you because they were busy with something else. So they're going to start making excuses of why they can't communicate with you there and then, to rationalize why they're refusing to communicate with you about something. However, these excuses will be extremely valid. So it stops you from pursuing the issue as they continue to get away with their behavior. Or when you try to approach something with them, if there's another person in the room, as you try to start the conversation, they can just start a conversation with somebody else. So it looks like you would be rude, you would be interrupting if you try to discuss something with them. And every time you try to say something, they're going to continue the conversation with a third person. So you feel like you're not being heard because you're not getting heard, because they are purposefully going to talk over you to discuss something with somebody else, and they're going to do it in a way to make you feel rude if you try to bring the conversation back up. Another covert way they stonewall you, another covert way they avoid the communication with you, is by talking over you, by changing the subject, derailing the topic of conversation, using the narcissist word salad. Not the word salad that other personality disorders can potentially struggle with, where they just throw out random words. The narcissist is going to divert the topic of conversation onto a different topic of conversation, and then onto something else and something else and something else, purposefully to avoid the conversation, the topic of conversation at hand. Another thing they might do is just completely refuse to answer the question. They can turn around and say, why are you bringing this up again? You're bringing it up again because every time you bring it up, there's no conclusion to the conversation, because they go around ignoring you or claiming that they're too busy or talking over you. So you never get matters resolved with them. So you can feel like you're continually bringing it up, and then they accuse you of bringing it up again. So you question, do I bring this up a lot? And that's because the issue never gets resolved. Or they're going to turn around and claim, do we have to talk about this now? You know that I need to do this. Again, making those excuses. They're going to go all out to refuse to communicate with you. And another way is when you try to bring the conversation up with them, they can just roll their eyes at you to sort of put you in your place. They can start humming and singing and tutting and walking away, feeling rather smug that they've got one over on you. And if you try to pursue the conversation with them, they're going to turn around and attack you and claim, why can't you just leave me alone? And we all know what it's like when we just want to be left alone. However, most genuine people, if they're struggling with that communication, struggling with that conflict, they can go and be left alone for a while and think things through and then go back and communicate. Now, you might recognise with a narcissistic person you can't do this. So then you might feel awful for failing to communicate with them. However, you cannot communicate with those who lack the ability to be willing to understand what you are trying to say to them. You cannot have sincere, honest, open communication with insincere, dishonest, closed-minded people. It doesn't work. And if all else fails when you're trying to communicate with a narcissist, they can just start sulking at you like that little toddler that's not getting their own way to try and get you to pander to their needs. Or they can fall silent on you and they can ghost you. They can just disappear on you because they're refusing to communicate with you. And what we have to do here is stop pursuing the topic of conversation. That's what they want. They want you to stop pursuing that topic of conversation. However, they want you to still be there, to be their supply for them. So when they don't want to listen to you, stop talking to them. Recognize who they are as a person and slowly distance yourself from that person. Why should they get the best out of you when they can't even listen to you as you would be willing to listen and to understand them? That's who they are as a person. You're never going to get that genuine connection with them because they've sold you an illusion of who they can be to get their needs met by you. And once their needs have been met by you, they begin to devalue you so that they can lower your standards while raising your expectations. So now and again, when you try and break free, they can breadcrumb you back into the situation. There is no healthy way to communicate with narcissistic people. With non-narcissistic people, yes, there can be conflict, there can be disagreements. However, you tend to have that object constancy so that you still care about each other, even when there is that conflict and those disagreements. With a narcissistic person, they lack that object constancy and they lack the empathy to care about you. So whenever there is any conflict, all they are looking for is to win, and to win at all cost to you. So yes, sometimes we do need to face the conflict. However, with a narcissistic person, we have to face the reality of that is who they are as a person. They're not willing to listen to us. We need to stop talking to them and we need to begin to distance ourselves away from them. We need to stop giving our best to those who keep showing us their worst. If anyone has any thoughts on this video or any ways you notice that a narcissistic person stonewalled you, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you are looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.